Hello everybody and welcome to the Football Philosophy channel, and it's about an hour before kick-off. The team news should be out any minute now for the game at Leeds. Actual football, it's been such a busy week, but actual football has been on the back burner this week, and I've had a pretty quiet time of it on YouTube. I've not done many shows at all this week. There's been too much going on about obviously the Super League that came and went within 48 hours. Astonishing happenings earlier in the week, and obviously there's a team news out. Let's have it.
Yeah, okay, straight in there.
Yeah.
Goal is Henderson.
Yeah.
Lindelof and Maguire at centre back.
Yeah.
Shaw at left back. Wan-Bissaka right back. Again, this isn't the order. You'll be a smile on your face.
McTominay and Fred.
It is McTominay and Fred, yes.
Right.
And who do we have?
Bruno.
Okay. Rashford is playing. Bruno's playing. James is playing.
Right.
Greenwood's playing.
Right. So Greenwood would be at 9, won't he? I think by the looks of that.
James would be at right wing.
So James would be on the right and Rashford on the left.
Yeah.
Right. When you said there'd be a smile on my face, I thought you was going to say Matic. That would have been nice.
Well, no.
So we've got to at least Dan James is getting a run.
You can't have everybody.
No, you can't get everything. No.
Well, it looks like
so
you only have one.
I wonder what's going on with Cavani then. I wonder if Cavani's fully fit. Pogba's not playing either, is he?
No.
Yeah, Pogba.
That's weird. What about it's the Roma game on?
It's on Thursday, the Roma game. It's long enough gap that between, so you don't need to rest players today for Thursday.
It's not like he's had a real tough season and needs a break.
And we've also just had our first midweek without a game for a long time. The lads will be champing at the bit.
Yeah, I'll just have a look at the subs as well. It's smaller writing. Okay, we have De Gea, obviously, Alex Telles, Bailey, Tuanzebe, Mata Matic, Pogba, Van der Beek, Cavani. Why isn't Van der Beek playing? Anyway.
Yeah. Astonishing. So it's looking like Dan James on the right, Rashford on the left. Rashford plays, don't he, no matter what. They said he hadn't trained all week.
Yeah. He's got a dodgy
they said
ankle,
he hadn't trained all week, and I thought Pogba would have played on the left.
Right.
Yeah, I'm astonished by that. Absolutely astonished that I'm astonished that Pogba's not playing. And then obviously that would have meant him perhaps playing on the left, and they did say on Friday that he'd not trained all week, Rashford, so I thought he might have got a breather.
Yeah.
Don't know when that's coming. Yeah. Anybody on already yet? Or?
Oh yeah, plenty. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
Come on then.
Someone just asking for, first of all, prediction of the score.
I think I'll say, like I said last week, I think we'll probably end up winning, but I don't think we're going to win comfortably. We hardly ever win comfortably, do we? I think we'll just nick it in the end, 2-1, or like I said last week, we might be one goal up and then get another goal on the break near the end.
Yeah.
I can't see us winning. I always say this. I can't see us winning 2 or 3-0 comfortably. We might win that score with a breakaway goal, included. Yeah. Because we're under pressure near the end. Yeah. But I do fancy we've got a good chance of winning. But but not comfortably.
Yeah. Somebody said Pogba rested for Ramadan. There's plenty of other Muslims, practicing Muslims who it's no problem still playing the games. Right. Every
never thought
game,
of that. Yeah.
But it's I'm sure they got world's best dietitians at football clubs now, haven't they? And I'm sure they can work it all out.
Yeah, you'd think so.
That's a strange one. Yeah, maybe somebody said that, but I don't think that washes, to be honest.
No, I don't think so.
You get cricketers playing 5
all
days.
The time, 5 days. Yeah.
Come on, I don't think it's that. It's not much of an excuse. It wouldn't be for me if I was manager anyway. But I respect his religion, of course. But, somebody, Irish Shah is asking if he can come on the channel in the future to discuss a few things. I'll make a note of his name, so if you want to maybe do a chat with him on Zoom, that would be good.
Has he got
somebody's suggesting, Helen is suggesting it's because top 4's already secured, that maybe that's why. Are you saying that because that's why Pogba's rested?
Maybe top 4's already secured and we want to concentrate on the Europa League. Is that the possibility?
Yeah, but by that token you would suggest, well, if he's resting, is he resting Van der Beek, Matic and Mata as well? Is that because he's going to pick them on Thursday?
No chance. Yeah.
After last week,
why isn't Bruno getting rested? Why isn't Rashford getting rested? Yeah. It's a joke, I think, to suggest. I'm sorry, I don't mean that rudely.
Yes.
It's a bit of a joke to suggest, really, that anybody's being rested.
Yeah.
If anybody needs a rest, surely it's Marcus Rashford, who's seems to be injured all the time and playing all the time, and then Bruno, who plays virtually every minute of every game.
I know, yeah.
So how can
he needs a rest.
It looks like he needs.
Let's be honest.
How can you say somebody else is being rested? It doesn't. It doesn't wash, does it? It doesn't wash. If anybody should be rested, it should be Bruno and Rashford, surely.
Yeah.
Surely.
And yet they're probably first names on his team sheet.
Pogba's probably played half the minutes this season that Bruno's played, and probably half the minutes that Rashford. If that,
probably less than
half. Yeah.
And somebody's mentioned Dan James gets a game, which is great, but then Cavani's not there in the middle for him.
Exactly. Hopefully Greenwood comes to the fore today.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, it's a funny old game. When you've got a player playing at number 9 who's a quality player who brings players into the game, you've also got more chance of getting more delivery into the box. Do you understand what I mean? And Mason needs to do a lot better, I think, with his back to goal, and his hold-up play needs to be better, and he needs to feed the wingers a bit better, and then get himself in the box. And if he does that, I think chances can come his way.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah, I mean, somebody suggested he's not resting players. Elliot has said he's not resting players, just putting out a fast counter-attacking team. Is that because you're saying that because Dan James is in it?
Well, Rashford plays all the time, don't he? Who's James in the team for? Really, you'd expect Cavani to play. Really, Dan James is in for Cavani, isn't he?
Yeah, and it's like maybe I'm Mr. Suspicious, but Pogba not playing means that Rashford can play on the left.
Yeah.
I mean, Pogba is best on the left.
I think so. I think we've played better, yeah.
I would argue with anybody that's the case, even a die-hard Rashford fans, that Pogba's made us better on the left.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what his thinking is. I always want to know what the manager's thinking is.
Yeah.
It could be there's not much thinking going on. It's just a question of, I don't
need to give him a
nice and steady.
Yeah, there might not be a lot of
all
thinking.
This ruction this week.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's Ollie's accent. That's not his accent.
He might not. He might not have put that much thought into it, other than I've said this loads of times. Actually, he's got a real dilemma. Just basically fitting the players in the team, and someone's just suggested it's for counter-attacking. Counter-attacking against Leeds. I know they're going to try and attack a lot. That's how they play, but. Do we really need to be thinking about that when we've normally got, Mason's been playing on the right and scored?
Yes.
Did he score 2 in the last game even? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, he did. Yeah. So somebody suggested it was a fast counter-attacking thing, and said that that's basically the team that he played against Leeds last time.
Right.
I think with a score like that's kind of an aberration.
It's just one of those things. If you think about that game,
like the machine,
Matt Tomlin scored.
Down, really.
He was wasn't he the first and still the only player to score 2 goals in the first 4 minutes, was it? Or was it the first 3 minutes even? First 3 minutes or the first 4 minutes, McTominay scored twice in the first 3 or 4 minutes. Don't tell me that's got anything whatsoever to do with fast counter-attacking play. You know what I mean? Certainly didn't involve Dan James, although he did play or did he come on as a sub? He scored in that game. I think did he start? Somebody's suggesting he did start, aren't he?
I don't
yeah,
know.
Maybe he did start, but certainly the first. I can remember one of the goals, Matt Tomlin running past Anthony Martial, and Martial fed him in, and then another one was a shot from outside the box. Well, they had defenders back, so we were 2-0 up in 3 or 4 minutes, and it had nothing whatsoever to do with quick players or. Okay, Matt Tomlin's not slow, but that's not what people are talking about. When they're talking about breaking away, they don't mean one of your midfield players running past your striker in the middle of the field. They're normally talking about the wingers. So the 2 goals that we were up had nothing to do with fast counter-attacking play. And once you're 2 up in 3 or 4 minutes, anything can happen. Anything can happen, and that's why we got so many goals in the end.
And as we know,
they've got to come out even more, haven't they?
If you can pass accurately into the right kind of space, it's quicker than anybody.
Yeah.
It's quicker than Usain Bolt. So.
Correct. Yeah. I can kick a ball faster than Usain Bolt can
exactly. Run. And also Martial played in that game.
Yeah.
Somebody's pointed out, and he's a big loss up front.
He is a big loss.
Certainly in terms of link up. But anyway.
Yeah.
Let's not
of course.
start.
We haven't got him. We haven't got him, have we?
Somebody said we're matching pace for pace, up and down the pitch, pace for pace, because that's the way Leeds play. I don't know. I think Leeds play a great quick passing game.
I think they do, yeah.
Better than us. I mean, to my eye, anyway.
Yeah, the way they move the ball around.
I mean, aesthetically pleasing
yeah.
and effective. I mean, maybe we got better individual players in some positions, anyway. But I don't know. Could be all kinds of reasons. I just find the idea that Pogba's not playing because of his religion. I just don't think that can be.
So has somebody put that up again, have they?
No, well, it's just a couple of people.
Yeah.
Not particularly. Few people asking about if we move on from the game, just the particular game for a moment, about the future, and it's all right saying Glazer's out, but if we just get another millionaire, with a leveraged buyout, which I saw a good podcast this week about how the whole European Super League was like the way the Glazers bought United. So they were getting this money from JP Morgan with the Super League, because clubs like United, Barcelona, Madrid, most of them, apart from well-run clubs or with big sugar daddies, are massively in debt. So what they're doing is you're promising 23 years, you get those grants, which are just loans, will be high interest loans. Those billions of dollars of loans are just the same kind of thing. It's what's known as a leveraged buyout. So you get a loan to buy something, and then you use the ongoing
income to pay it.
So it's the same.
It was a similar type of thing then.
Yes, exactly the same.
Right.
And obviously the Premier League itself was just a money grab, wasn't it? Really, for the top clubs. I think before the. So what kind of? I don't know where we would get owners from, but I saw somebody put on Twitter, isn't it funny that you don't see too many City fans campaigning to get their owners out, and you don't see too many Chelsea fans. No.
You do see Arsenal fans, United fans, Spurs fans, but there's clubs who, their owners basically are putting money into the clubs.
Yes. Of course they are, for different reasons.
So that's why they're not. That's why they're not campaigning.
Yeah, they've obviously got huge pots of money that they're sitting on.
There might be other political reasons that I don't even want to get into that they might campaign for, but I think most of them are just happy that their clubs are doing well, and and they've got money to spend on players, and that'll do them. And I think most football fans would think like that. Anything else about today's game?
Today's game. Not so much. People just more about James. Do you think Ollie's this is more in general, I suppose. I mean, personally, I think Bielsa does it right, even if he's a bit quirky to our eyes. But maybe he wouldn't be so quirky if he spoke English, we understood him a bit more. I don't know. But he plays an attacking form of football. He has a style. Whether you like it or not, he has a style, and to me, it's aesthetically pleasing. Do you think Ollie, as far as you can see, is what we'd say a bit more pragmatic? I'm being kind there. Style of manager or coach. What do you think?
Well, I certainly don't think our football flows as well as it should, compared to plenty of teams in the Premier League. We have got the type of players who would fit that type of football, but I've got to add, and I really can't put my finger on it. Surely it can't just be luck, but we are doing okay by our we can't. I've lost my thread there through hearing my grandson shouting.
Grandkids. About Ollie.
About this is what I was saying. We have got players who can play in that style of football, move the ball more quickly, good first touch. Constantly play. A lot of people know what sort of player I like, but I've got to be honest. I wouldn't say for certain that we'd have any more points on the board than what we have got on the board. We ain't, by our recent standards, look, we've got to forget the Fergie years. It's too long gone by now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
By our recent standards, points-wise, we're doing perfectly fine. I'd love us to do better. And as much as I'd love to see us playing the type of football that I would like to see, I couldn't promise that we'd have any more points on the board if we were playing better. So it's a bit of a difficult one to put your finger on, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I mean, you have to say that our results this year about outperformed
our performances.
Yes,
yeah.
By a long way.
I agree. Yeah. I agree.
So we could play a lot better.
We've won a lot of games. We've won a lot of games where I don't think we were the better team in that game.
Oh yeah,
a lot of games.
Yeah, and a lot of games in the second half.
Late goals and things like that.
That's fitness or just kind of individual abilities to be able to make something as the other team is tiring, perhaps.
Yeah.
But we could, with the players we've got in our squad, we could play a lot more to my eyes and perhaps to your eyes, more attractive kind of football.
Definitely.
And be on less points.
We might be on less points. You can't say that. If I was sitting here now when we were on, I don't know, 46 points or something, or 50 points, I would be banging a drum of saying we've got to start playing better football, and we will start getting better results. But the results are actually okay. They're not. I know they're not absolutely fantastic, but they're okay. Yeah. I mean, the league. Look, and City are going to win the league, but. There's only 5 games left. If we can win a few of our games, they're only going to win it with a game or 2 to spare if they drop any points. I know they are going to win it, and people will go, "What are you talking about? They still won it easily." Maybe they have, but 3 months ago, I'd have expected it to be over with 6 games to spare or 7 games to spare. There's a good chance they'll need something out of the last 2 games. I think a good chance, as long as we do keep our results coming in.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not saying they won't get something out of the last 2 games when they need it, by the way.
No.
But I do think it might come to that.
So if we take it that, I mean, as some people have said, it's unsustainable. The fact that the performance, the results are
outperforming the performances.
By so long, it's unsustainable. But I thought that halfway through the season.
But it hasn't dipped, has it? I thought it would slide, but it hasn't slid really. If anything, we've got a bit stronger, haven't we? Aren't our results in the second half of the season even better?
That's what it feels like.
Yeah,
anyway. Momo says maybe Ollie's right then. Whatever he's doing,
maybe he's right.
He thinks it's because of fitness, and I think there must be something in that. Or the players in it can't perhaps on the odd occasion get a goal out of nothing, and they're less what I would call less team players. But I suppose it depends how you define team. Playing on the break, which people say we're best at, is a way of playing. If you're playing the best clubs in Europe and you're away, or even at home, I think that's justified, no matter what your general level of play is like. Or if you're a lower part of the division team with less resources, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
My question would be for United, who have whether it's founded on debt or not, have much greater resources, and is that what we should be doing? Yeah. I know
they're literally the cost of the players that we've got within our squad dwarfs virtually every team in the league, doesn't it?
Yeah. And the wage bill.
And the wage bill as well. So we should be playing better. There's no 2 ways about it. No 2 ways. But like I say, I couldn't sit here hand on heart and guarantee we'd get any more points. But I'd love it if we were sat here on the same amount of points and playing better football.
I mean, I don't know. It's some of the games this year. What do you think? I found them hard to watch.
Yeah, it's a bit of an hard watch at times. Yeah, it really is.
I mean, literally looking at me watch, thinking, well, okay, there's 15 minutes left. We might get a winning goal.
We might get a winning.
I don't know. Is that enough? Well, they're my club, so what can you do? You stick with it, but you should be aiming for higher. Philosophically.
You just said my club, and it reminds me of something I was asked about at the demonstration yesterday.
You went to the demo yesterday.
I went yesterday, yeah.
How was it?
It was good. I thought it wasn't a bad turnout. There was a few people there saying to me they were disappointed with the turnout. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, well, there is COVID,
Yeah, it's COVID as well, exactly. And not a match day. I don't know why a match day should make any difference really when there's no. I can understand the demonstration on a match day having thousands there, because you can go in the match. But when you can't go in the match, I don't see why it should have any relevance really.
Well, people
just want to turn up there because
of the
game.
I mean, I know we have COVID, but a lot of people are working.
So. But anyway, next week it's Liverpool on Sunday, and they think there seems to be quite a big movement behind that, and I think there'll be even more turn up next week. But I thought it was okay. But what I was going to touch on, I mentioned yesterday when I actually spoke to Flex on the United stand while I was there, and I said, what's made this come to my mind is you saying, it's our club.
Yes, yeah.
I've been watching United since 1970. On and off, because I used to play a lot of football in my younger years, but I still used to go to a lot of games. But since I stopped playing football around the age of 40, which is over 20 years ago now, I hardly miss a game. Certainly I hardly miss an home game, and some seasons I hardly miss an away game. I got quite so it's in my blood. It's my life, really.
He's not lying there,
so it's difficult.
Yeah.
It's difficult for me to stand there and say that I'm not going to go to the games, because they're talking about trying to hit them in the pocket. Obviously, don't buy merchandise from the store, that's fine. Don't send for merchandise, that's all fine. But they're talking about people not going through the gate, and I said yesterday, I would be prepared to do that. I don't know how could you get this going?
Yes.
I'm prepared to do that, but there's no point me not going to the game if there's still, look at old 76,000.
Yeah.
There's no point me not going to the game if there's still 73,000 going, say.
Yes, that's right. It needs
it needs an effort and coordination, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I'd be quite happy if somebody could sort of say, look, it looks like there's only going to be 50,000 going this week. Then I would quite happily say, right, well, I'll put my weight behind that, and that might not consider considerable weight behind that, and I wouldn't go. You know what I mean? Once they do start, next season it's supposed to be a full house again, isn't it? It's supposed to be all behind us then.
Everybody will want to go back for other reasons.
Of course,
you've been, because of the pandemic, for God's sake.
Yeah.
But
it's going to be a tough
if you
one.
Want to change,
but I'm certainly prepared to put my effort in if everybody else is. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to change anything, you can, like this. Structural, if you want to change the minds of the powerful, you've got to unite.
Yeah.
And try not to just give in and think, oh well, it's all in the past now. Because I don't think it is in the past. I don't think the Super League's in the past. And I don't know what you think, but to me, this has been a process from the Premier League. I mean, there's always been big sugar daddies in football, always. Because there's had to be, because it's never something you can make money off. Not without changing the rules the way they want to change the rules.
Yeah.
Like the Premier League hoarding more of the money, which used to be shared more equitably between all the clubs in the league.
Yeah.
But this to me, this is just a process that needs stopping.
Yeah.
But so far, people have thought, oh well, at least we've got nice grounds now because of the Premier League. I mean, I think United's a bit tatty myself.
Yeah, this was said yesterday. Yeah,
it's a bit tatty myself.
Yeah.
If they'd have spent the dividends on just
improving the ground,
new seats, or a bit, maybe
or a new stadium even.
Or a new stadium, of course, they're from America, where they get stadiums built for them by the local council, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Something that happened at the demonstration, I've seen footage of it today. You just said, of course, they're from America. There was a burning of an American flag there, the Stars and Stripes yesterday, which to me is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, it's just gesture politics, isn't it? Rather than what does it mean? It
doesn't make any sense.
What about United fans who can't stand the Glazers who live in the States?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
It's just, it's just a flag. So
people,
why burn it?
Yeah, the people who did it probably wouldn't want me to apologise, but I do apologise on behalf of Manchester United fans. I wouldn't dream of doing it. I think it was shocking.
Yeah,
shocking.
I mean, it's just. It's just a piece of cloth.
Yeah.
It has symbol, meaning, and all that. I know it's bigger in the States as well. But if it's just a piece of cloth, then why do it? That would be my point on that. I think. But,
anything more about today's game? Probably Dan James more. Is there?
Yeah, somebody was mentioned before. I don't know where that's gone. It's further back about how Bielsa liked Dan James.
Yes.
And, maybe he's a better judge than Ollie.
Yeah. Bielsa wanted him. Yeah.
Along with being a better coach.
I think people who are who obviously want to criticise Dan James, which happens a lot, they would probably say Leeds is about his level and is the type of player that Leeds can afford. We're so much more wealthy despite being in so much debt, so to speak.
Relating to that, John Joe Kerwin has asked, do you think we're playing this fast counter-attacking play style because it suits our players? We don't have the same type of player as City to pass it well.
Well, I think we have. It's just that people think they're too old or too slow, and it's about having speed of brain and speed of thought. Sorry, it's about having speed of thought and having a good first touch. And I think Van der Beek could play like City players play. I know Martial's not fit, but Martial can play like that. Juan Mata can play like that. People might laugh, but I believe Nemanja Matic can play like that. He's a big lad, and people think that because he's big, it makes he looks slow. But I see him.
Watch a cat chasing a mouse. The mouse has to do way more steps than a cat.
Yeah, it looks faster, doesn't it? And the cat tends to catch it.
You've been in a Mini going at 50 mile an hour, an old Mini. It feels like you're going 200 miles an hour. Exactly.
He's more like a Rolls Royce, isn't he? I think. And he. People think he slows the game down, but I did an experiment.
Right on cue, somebody says Matic used to slow.
I know. Well, I did this. I looked at a game the other week where I can't remember the exact percentages now, but something like 60% of his passes were either one-touch passes or two-touch passes. I always say, how quick do you want somebody to pass it? Do you know what I mean? It's all about the speed of your passing.
Yeah.
And the intelligence of your game. When you see something, you give it straight away. Yeah. And intercepting balls that you actually pass. I'm not talking about intercepting it, controlling it, and then passing it. I'm talking about being able to intercept it, and that actual interception being a pass. Getting in there and laying it off, and he's great at that. So what people see, because of the few times that he holds it for 3 or 4 or 5 touches, which some of the other players do as well, by the way.
Yes, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When he holds it for 3 or 4 or 5 touches, it's purely because there wasn't an instant pass on. As soon as there's a pass on, he gives it.
Yes.
He's just a quality footballer.
Yeah.
And why people don't see it is some do see it. I was speaking to a couple of lads yesterday who came up to me at the demo and said, I agree with you 100% what you talk about Matic.
Yeah. Somebody, actually, there's a couple of things that come up probably because we've been talking about Matic, but Hugh Moran said, as a Chelsea fan, I can assure you Matic has not regressed and he's never been quick.
Yeah.
But we'd take him back in a heartbeat.
Who says that? Hugh Moran.
Hugh Moran.
Thank you, Hugh. I really appreciate that comment. Really appreciate it.
But not just what people might think of as the old timer players, which I think is wrong to think about Matic anyway. But people are saying, well, why isn't Ahmad getting a game? And why, if we kind of looks, we've certainly got top 4.
Yeah, we've got that now.
We've got the Champions League.
Unless is he still harbouring a slight hope? I mean, look, are we assuming that he's picked his team today, that he thinks he's the best team to try and win this game? It's certainly a strong team, isn't it? Bruno plays all the time, Fred plays all the time, McTominay, they might not be in my team, but they're in his team. McTominay plays all the time, Rashford plays all the time, Greenwood plays most of the time, and Dan James plays quite a lot, a little bit less than the others, but still quite. It's a strong team. So maybe he's still harbouring a slight hope that City might slip up. If we can win all our games, they need to lose 3 times. I know that's very, very, very unlikely, but it's not mathematically impossible, is it? Really speaking, as a professional manager, as a professional person, he should do his best to stay in the race until it is mathematically impossible.
How you'll like this, I think. Somebody's just talked about how Matic can carry the ball. Who else in Ollie's first 11 that he would pick and carry the ball, do you think? You know what we're talking about?
Yeah, of course.
Move forward with the ball with strength. He can, if somebody dives in for a tackle.
He's certainly the best at it.
Yeah. Who else can do it? Now, what about who Ollie picks? If Ollie picked his first 11, who can do that?
Hardly any. McTominay's got the same physicality, but I don't think he's got the same football brain that Matic has got. I don't think he sees the space quite so well. The space where he should go with the ball, that keeps the ball away from the opposition, and then 2 or 3 touches to find space and then pass it. Just Matic is great at it, and I don't really think any of the others are. Maybe Pogba might be the nearest, but even he. People talk about.
Pogba can do it. He's weird though.
He gets caught on the ball just as often as Matic does, in my mind.
Oh yeah,
just as often.
I think Pogba can do it. I just think his head goes different places, and he kind of I wouldn't say he goes to sleep, but his mind goes elsewhere in games. You can see it happening, and his attention wavers, and and then somebody will take it off him, of course. But when he's on it, he's kind of the same thing. He can bring the ball forward because he's strong. He has ability.
Well, it's great running with the ball when he's on his game.
And he's not sprinting.
He's
he
just
can move
strong.
with the ball.
He's just strong.
He's just strong as well as skillful and quick enough.
Yeah, exactly, exactly that.
I'd also add that I think Matic is probably our best passer of the ball.
I think he is. He's passing into the forwards' feet. He's so well weighted.
I mean, he did one recently, didn't he? A through ball.
The long ball to Bruno that he volleyed. Yeah.
I mean,
it's a difficult ball to score from.
Yeah.
But it's still a great ball. It's the type of ball that if Bruno played it or Pogba played it, everybody would be raving about it. Raving about it. You'd never seen if it happened to have scored from it, they'd be saying it's the best pass ever in the history of the game if it was Bruno or Pogba that played that ball.
Do you think today's selection, MC Source asks, do you think it's to do with a strong eye to Thursday's game? The selection, not specifically Pogba or whatever, but...
I think it's got to be specifically Pogba and Cavani, really, isn't it? Because the rest of the players, there's only... See, normally James and Greenwood are competing for one spot normally, aren't they? The rest of the team, really, is his first choice team, isn't it? So it's difficult to say that he's picked this team with one eye on. There's nearly always one change, isn't there? Nearly always at least one change. So to say that he's picked this team with an eye on Thursday night, I don't think so. Surely if that was the case, surely it'd be Bruno and Rashford getting a rest, which never happens, does it? If he was going to rest anybody for Thursday night, we spoke about this right at the beginning of the show, didn't we? It's got to be Bruno and Rashford. Anybody else, they play that much. Who else needs a rest? You know what I mean? McTominay and Fred, perhaps?
Oh, Adam's just come up on the super chat. Thanks, Adam. It's very kind, mate.
Thank you, Adam.
He asks a question. Does he know his statement? Hi, Rick. As I told you Friday, I thought he would go for Mason, Marcus and James.
Yes.
He believes we need the pace in counter, but we also need people to pass it.
Yeah.
I presume that last clause is from Adam. He believes we need people to pass it.
Yeah.
You can kind of predict what Ollie's going to do. So in that sense, he probably has got a plan, even if we don't like the plan.
Yeah.
He'd just say, well, it's working.
It's certainly working to an extent. It certainly is. Have we got 66 points already? The same amount we got last season. I think we have.
Yeah, it's. I know, but I don't know. Parts of last season, I thought were way better, but
do you think so? Yeah,
that's why I'm not going to.
It seems an age ago now. I can't hardly remember last season.
Last game seems like an age ago.
Well, of course, last season included the first games when Bruno signed, didn't it? Or am I going back 2 seasons? There, the pandemic scrambled my mind. That was only last season, wasn't it? Of course it was. Yeah, of course it was. So we.
Oh, and Tom Whittingham's asking a question now as well. What do you think about Pogba not starting?
I'm surprised he's not starting. I really am. But the difficulty is, I think we might have discussed this the other day. In order to fit him in, he would either have to disturb McTominay or Fred, which he doesn't want to do, or he'll have to switch Rashford to the right, which he doesn't want to do. If he does do that, he has to leave out Greenwood or put him to centre forward and trot. And all these things have happened.
Rashford on the right, for the last game he played on the right, didn't he?
Yeah, he put a couple of good balls in from
right. He looked more comfortable as a winger on the right.
I think so.
I mean, he's just a striker who's coming in, starting from the left when he's on the left, which isn't the same job.
He looks a little bit more like a winger, didn't he, playing on the right?
Perhaps he could have played Pogba
left and Rashford right,
Rashford right, and Dan James wouldn't have got a game
It's interesting that he's given Dan James a game today. It really is interesting. Well, left Pogba out and left Cavani out.
Yeah, I mean that.
Despite look. People can put all these excuses, or not excuses, reasons. You can put all these reasons forward, but come on, it's a Premier League football match. Lots of the other teams have all got similar strengths or different strengths, or we're going to expect to be under pressure. Dan James tends to play against City when we're always under pressure. He always plays against City, and we beat City about 3 times with him in the team.
Well, I think
can't be a bad player, can he?
I think in a way, maybe this is in a way. Are we expecting to be Bielsa?
Yeah. Are we expecting to be under pressure?
Leeds, you can. There's an analogy to the way, you can certainly see the similarities between the way Leeds play and City play.
Yeah, because they try and keep the ball so well.
Players, of course, because they've got a bottomless pit of money. But I suspect Bielsa was a positive influence on Guardiola. I mean, he's been around for a while, Bielsa, and his way of playing. At club level, and also when I remember him as the manager of Chile, and I kind of admired his no compromise and his style. I mean, that's been a big influence. Players, closing down other players, and the energy levels. That's him. That's his idea, as far as I can see. And his protege ended up being.
When you talk about energy levels, is that part of it?
For us.
Yeah, is that why Dan James is playing to try and match their energy levels?
Like you say, somehow.
I always say this though about football. I remember a game where I can't remember who was it against. Against West Ham away. Ollie actually said that I think he picked McTominay and Matic, or was it McTominay and Pogba? But he certainly picked 2. He didn't pick Fred, but he said I've gone with the 2 taller midfield players to match their taller midfield players. Surely that means it must mean surely that he feels that their tall midfield players have got an advantage over our short midfield player. Does it not mean that? Because if you think, well, I'm going to have to play a tall player because they're both 6'4" or 6'2" and 6'4", I'm going to have to play tall players to match their tall players. If you think that, if you twist that round, that means that he thinks that the tall players have got an advantage over smaller players. So why don't we play our tall players against tall players just to match them, but also play them against small players because they'll have an advantage over them? Do you know what I mean? So if he thinks we need Dan James to match their energy, why not play him more often to beat people for energy? Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't add up to me.
Well, what they say in press conferences. I mean, it could be just a stream of gobbledygook a lot of the time with some managers. And that, or they reach the limit of what they want to say. I don't know. Well, they're just trying to think of something today to get it over with.
Yeah.
I mean,
possibly.
I don't think there's philosophers or he's not a that's wrong. I'm not criticising Ollie in a sense. Really, but he hasn't got the same level of obvious upfront thoughtfulness. So he's holding it back about the way the game should be played and the ins and outs, the actual minutiae. It's just that sounds to me like something you just say because if somebody said it at a Sunday League match, but he's so obviously he might be 6 inches smaller, but he's so much better a player. Don't talk rubbish.
You would. Just get your better players on the field. Should we take one more question or call it a day? It's nearly 22. If there's one there that you think you want to pick out straight away.
Somebody asked the question. This is about, is it Rafinha, the player for Leeds? I don't know.
I've not watched him closely. I always say this.
Bruno rates him.
Bruno rates him, fair enough. Doesn't matter anything now. I'm not criticising Bruno. I'm not going off what anybody says.
We'll get a look at him today.
I've seen him a couple of times. He has looked good, but you need to watch somebody more closely and concentrate on that player, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
That's what I'd say.
And a few people saying that Leeds play a high line. That's why he wants to play.
Right. And James.
Does he play a high line than City? I think it's probably, like I said before. I think it might be a compliment to them because they don't lose the ball easily, give it away. They maybe this thing. Well, it's the obvious thing to do is have some quick players and hit over the top. Wimbledon style.
Yeah, is that what we're going to do?
Quick players rather than big. Big
right, I think we better call it a day. It's 22.
Okay.
So it's kicking off in about 20 minutes. I hope we get the points. As I said before about Ollie, I'm thinking along those lines. I'd just like to keep. It's only a tiny, tiny little bit of pressure on City, but the longer we can make it last, the better. And it isn't over yet. So I'd like us to get these 3 points, and City have got to go and win the next one then to keep that big gap, haven't they? It's a massive gap at the minute, but. You never know. A couple of slip-ups in a row and we could be somewhere in here. So
I mean, it'd be like having a gallon of laughing gas, wouldn't it? If we win the league.
I'm not suggesting we can win the league, but I'm still hoping that we can just be a bit nearer.
Yeah.
Be a bit nearer with a game or two to go. Right, I hope you've enjoyed that show. If you've enjoyed that show, please tell all your friends. Please subscribe. And if you didn't enjoy it, don't tell anybody. Keep stum.
And relax.